Yang Behormat Dr. Zulfikar Hassan, Deputy Minister for Islamic Affairs, Office of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, distinguished keynote speakers and paper presenters, honorable guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Selamat pagi, good morning. It is a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you to this conference on behalf of the St. Andrew's Encyclopaedia of Theology, one of its hosts. This conference's illustrious speakers, its careful organization by teams both here and in St. Andrew's, and the glorious setting combine to make this an unmissable event. I am grateful to all those who have contributed to its preparations and success. Over the coming days, we will hear talks on how the seeming multiplicity of human knowledge can be integrated as God, who is at once the author of Revelation and the world, of theology, biology, history, and all the other sciences, is himself utterly one. Before we turn in our keynotes and sessions to the how of this integration, I would like to use my remarks to linger on the importance of why. The triumphs of modern research are undeniable and welcome, including discoveries in medicine and computing, and also improvements in historical methodologies or social analyses. Diseases and injuries are treated better than at any time in the past. The power of our handheld phones dwarfs that of previous constellations of information. At the same time, advances in economic understanding have led to prosperity, and in other social sciences, to real understanding. Not all is well, however, with abundant crises of identity, mental health, and moral reasoning. The very brightness of the progress I have mentioned risks blinding us to some very disturbing trends. Theologians, through distraction or neglect, have allowed each advance in the other academic disciplines concomitantly to reduce the scope of theology. By thus accepting the primacy of other approaches, too many theologians have gone down one of three paths. They have vanished. They have transformed themselves into copies of their secular counterparts. Or they have insulated their thinking entirely from the wider world, for example, by burying themselves in explicating past thinkers without reference to present considerations. All of these disciplines, both secular and religious, are legitimate and have their place in the wider intellectual conversation. A voice, however, may be missed. A voice asking fundamental questions like, who is God, and how does he relate to the world and to us? And indeed, we have seen what happens when the divorce between theology and the other forms of knowledge becomes absolute. In secular thinking, whether through denials of the fundamentals of human nature and rights, or through fantasies of our replacement by artificial intelligences, losing God means losing man. It has become clear no intellectual system can include humanity without including divinity. At the same time, religious thinking, without contact with the wider world of thought, threatens to veer into extremism or irrelevance. In this way, many academic disciplines proceed in ignorance of theology's contribution to their area, while academic theology fails to explore and demonstrate the relevance of its core insights. The solution to both problems is to strengthen and redescribe the contours of the discipline of theology, defined by one of Islam's first great readers in the West as God and all things in relation to God. Thus, our conference, and thus also our encyclopedia. The articles of the Islam section of the St. Andrew's Encyclopaedia of Theology you may peruse for now in the printed examples, which were available at the registration desk, but are soon to be published online in an open access and free and unrestricted form. In them, you will find engagements from Islamic perspectives by leading scholars with the core topics of Islamic religious thought, while also relating their topics to the believer and the community today. Our project offers to support and refocus theological reflection on its own core concepts, while contributing to showing their ongoing relevance. Articles furthermore explore the theological dimensions of other disciplines, as for example in the article on Islamic political theology, of which we have copies here. It is my sincere hope that this work will be of benefit to you and your research and thinking. Engagement with Malaysia's Islamic intellectual centers has already been of enormous benefit to us, and I know that the papers and discussions of today and tomorrow will be resources for reflection and action for years to come. Our co-hosting of this event is honored by your presence and participation, in person and online. Thank you. Terima kasih.